Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to this spooky episode of Underdark Cellars. Whether serving your living or recently departed friends, I'm sure these Beetlejuice-inspired cupcakes will get your guests ready to party. For this recipe, we need half a cup of unsalted browned butter. Fun fact, brown butter loses moisture. So in order to retain moisture or add that back in, I'm going to actually be using a quarter cup of regular unsalted butter to help kind of bring that balance back so that our cupcakes don't turn out super dry. You can also add some ice back in the brown butter, but I wasn't about to splatter myself with, no, that's not happening. So we're going to transfer this to a heat safe bowl and we're going to slowly cool this down in an ice bath, making sure to stir so that the brown butter solids are evenly distributed once the butter has cooled. A tip is that you can use this in cookies, you can use this in brownies, whatever you're making to add a nice nuttiness and caramelized flavor to your baked goods. So like I said, we're going to cream together our browned butter and our quarter cup of regular unsalted butter until it's nice and smooth. At that point, we're going to add in our sugar and beat that together until it's nice and creamy. Now I'm using a large bowl, so you're not going to see a lot of the creaming action, but it came together very smooth. We're going to add in 3 eggs, one at a time, beating after each one. Now, for this recipe, I was inspired by the Banana Boat Deo song, which is sung by Harry Belafonte. So for this recipe, we're adding in some vanilla extract, some rum imitation flavor. We're going to add in some bananas. And then I did some research on Jamaican spices that are commonly used and learned that cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, these are all used. So I added about a teaspoon each of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. And then once all of those wet ingredients are combined, we're going to start adding in our dry. We're going to do this in 2 parts. So once the first part of the cake flour, baking soda, and salt is fully mixed in, we're going to add in our sour cream, all of it. So 3/4 of a cup. That will get folded in, and then once that is combined, we'll add the remaining part of our dry ingredients. Make sure that's all nice and mixed together, and then we are ready to bake. So this recipe will make 24 cupcakes. Now, you're gonna wanna fill your cupcake liners about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way full. Once your cupcake liners are filled and there's no extra batter left, you're going to smack your cupcake tins on the counter to drive up any bubbles or air pockets that might have formed in the cupcake pans. This will also help ensure that your cupcakes bake nice and flat and that you don't end up with like a muffin top that's, really domed. So once that's done, we're gonna pop these in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. We're gonna let these cool completely before moving on. Hey, also make sure you're subscribed, otherwise the sandworm will get ya. Now, they're not sandworm cupcakes without sand, so I'm going to combine graham crackers, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove to tie all of these flavors together and have a really comprehensive cupcake. Into the stand of a food processor, we're going to blitz that together until it's nice and smooth. And then to get that to adhere, we're going to make a white chocolate, rum, and vanilla bean ganache. So I'm going to combine melted white chocolate, some imitation rum extract, some vanilla bean powder, and some hot heavy cream. And we're going to mix this together until it's really nice and smooth. We're going to dip the cupcakes into the hot ganache, and then we're going to let the excess drain off, and then we're going to press those into the sand. So all of these flavors are going to work really, really well together. Once you have all of them done, you're going to then take the extra crumbs, sprinkle them on top because it's going to be a little wet, and then you're going to just kind of shake off the excess so they look super, super sandy. To top off the cupcake, I am making a coconut rum cream cheese frosting. I chose cream cheese frosting as opposed to others because I feel like it has a tangier, brighter flavor that will pair really well with the other flavors in the cupcake. So we're going to beat together our butter and our cream cheese. We're going to add in our extracts, make sure everything is nice and incorporated, and then we're going to add in the first half of our powdered sugar just to make sure that it doesn't spray everywhere and make a huge mess. You'll see I made a mess anyway, but it wasn't as big of a mess if I had added it in all at once. Now, this was still a little on the yellow side for me, so I added in the tiniest bit of purple gel food coloring, and it doesn't make the biggest difference, but I could tell that it made a difference. Now we're going to divide this in half and set the white aside. Now we're going to work on our black frosting. Now, here's the thing. I could have made a chocolate frosting to make making black easier, but I thought that chocolate would be really overwhelming with these other flavors. But I used this hack on TikTok I saw about using an immersion blender to emulsify the frosting and make the black pigments stand out more. I also way overfilled my bag here, so you'll see in a minute that it was kind of like falling out the ends. But I staggered this because, you know, if you say his name 3 times, he'll appear. So I did 3 stripes of black and 3 stripes of white. And now we're going to do a test cupcake. You'll see it starts to come out and it's nice and multicolored. So I went ahead and frosted these and they are so cute. Look at them. They look just like the sandworm coming out of the sand, but I need someone to share these with. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.